Hello, welcome. My name is Jaya Chandra and I have been working on smartphone technologies and applications for well over 10 years. I present you here how smartphones are evolving and transforming us as global immigrant workers and digital nomads, or more aptly as hyper nomads. Smartphones are now evolving from consuming devices of information like video, music, games and the like to production devices where they will be playing vital roles in various works including professional works. Why is this aspect of global immigrants and digital hyper-nomadism of the smartphone is important? Simple. Our productivity and GDP will increase by leaps and bounds, as you will see later. As global immigrants and digital hyper-nomads, we work in frictionless atmosphere at very high electronic speeds with no transnational bureaucracies and hurdles. We work at very high velocity at almost the speed of light. What we do in weeks and months in the physical world, we will be able to do the same work in a matter of minutes and hours as in the digital world as a hyper-nomad. Our productivity increases by leaps and bounds, and so also our GDP due to such high velocity transactions and dealings. We will be working in the likes of zero gravity fields where our small efforts produce immense outputs and large results. See, our ancestors were once tribal nomads. Later we became residential dwellers of towns and cities in the agricultural and industrial ages. In the later parts of the industrial age, we once again became physical nomads due to cheap cars and air travel. And now we are becoming digital hyper-nomads and global itinerant immigrants, performing our tasks effortlessly at very high speeds in friction-free world and in the likes of zero gravity, where our small efforts produce very large and immense results, as I said before. First, I briefly describe you the current state of smartphone and later discuss how it is evolving to make us as digital hyper-nomads and global immigrants. I here introduce you a very short excerpt video of Cold Water Company where a girl tells about current smartphone, its state of art to another little girl.
It's a smartphone. I can watch movies on it, read a book, talk to my friends on the other side of the country, face to face, download 100,000 songs, sign a petition, download programs that help me check on the weather, the traffic, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, find out who wrote Midsummer Night's Dream, find out what they were dreaming about, translate French into English, and find the best deal on a new pair of boots.
Oh, there's a lot more to me than that. I can connect to the internet using both cellular and Wi-Fi. I have a lightning-fast 1.4 GHz quad-core processor, which is 500 times more powerful than the processors on the Apollo space missions. I have a 20-hour battery, 2 cameras, a high-definition LCD screen, and state-of-the-art damage-resistant glass.
Now the smartphone is evolving as a production device rather than merely as a consumption device as before. At the palm of our hand or even the wrist wearable device of our hands, it provides us immense capabilities. It has rich sensor networking and sensor data fusion capabilities to monitor and control any distant place of interest to us on this planet. It provides us immense computational and database access through its cloud computing interfaces just from the palm of our hand. Its high-resolution display can take touch commands as well as many natural user interface commands and gestures like those of the speech and motion. It can act on the real world through proper sensors and actuators instantaneously. Therefore, it is a vital part in making us as global immigrant workers because it can sense both digital and physical worlds. Not only sense, but it also can interact and take actions bidirectionally from digital to physical and physical to digital worlds, all in real time with simple touch commands and other natural user interface gestures. Current smartphones have rich sensors and they have capabilities to self-configure and network with proper sensors and actuators. They are thus able to produce actionable digital spaces and smart physical spaces. With such bidirectional actionable digital to physical and physical to digital world capabilities, we can discover any buried and untapped resources anywhere on this globe at any time of our choosing. We can also discover and apply human talents and workforce any place in the world at very high speeds through simple digital space manipulations on the smartphone screen with few gestures, with corresponding space actions. Importantly, we can work in many dangerous and hazardous places like burning hot, freezing cold locations. Why is this topic important to us? If we have any business or profession, global immigrant and hyper-nomad aspects of this smartphone is a winning business strategy to not only to outperform and outdo and outcompete anyone, but to make our lives easy and more productive. With the internet and World Wide Web databases and browsers, we have already conquered the knowledge space. This knowledge space can be put to best use with proper actions enabled by sensors and actuator networks that are possible with this smartphone of the physical space, which are often called smart space or intelligent space. We are just beginning to develop such intelligent spaces and corresponding digital space interactions through this simple smartphone. As a new global immigrant, we can perform work remotely like far-off surgery, emergency work, factory work, logging, welding, automatic automobile driving, unmanned truck delivery of goods and services, and so on. A variety of works can be performed. One way to perform such remote works is with robots interfaced with smartphones. There are many other ways. Other simple ways include proper sensor actuators and their networks connected to the smartphones. Digital hyper-nomadism does not simply imply traveling from place to place. Even though we are stationary and locked to one position at a place, the world around us is constantly moving and changing, including our own space where we are standing or sitting. This aspect of lack of movement represents a new type of nomadism, of motionless travel. These meanderings of our surroundings intersect well-specified paths of communication, transport, and other physical properties of this world, but these divergent navigations occur in different spaces of digital and physical realms, where the new nomads investigate and probe for deeper meanings and actions. Smartphones continue to provide us new capabilities. In the near future, we will be able to interact both with the digital and physical worlds seamlessly and bidirectionally. We can cause corresponding actions in the physical and digital worlds interchangeably and also instantaneously. I am going to show you an expert Mayo Clinic neurosurgeon for remote care of a stroke patient as shown in the following clip. Here the surgeon demonstrates how he interacts with a remote stroke patient's real-time medical conditions. He is also able to interact with other experts as needed. He can thus treat the stroke patient immediately wherever the patient happens to be.
Presented to the emergency department with symptoms and signs of stroke. The images are retrieved. You can see from the base of the skull all the way up through the vertex. We scroll through the images, axial image by simply running our finger along the screen. We're looking for all the usual things in a stroke patient, any evidence of acute intracranial hemorrhage, any early ischemic changes, hyperdense artery sign, surprises, other explanations for a stroke syndrome, or things that might mimic stroke. The beauty of this is that none of this information is housed permanently on the device, so that when I turn this off, first of all, it's password protected. I'll turn it off. If the device was stolen or retrieved by someone else, they would not have access to this confidential patient information. So after reviewing this CT scan, other advantages are, in fact, my colleague, the referring physician, the emergency department, can actually be looking at the same image simultaneously, and we can have a live connection, and using a pointer I can highlight unique features about that scan so that that emergency physician and I are speaking at the same time about the same image.
We are all too familiar with physical nomads and immigrant worker situations of the current and also prevailing extensions of the industrial age. Most of us have experienced the difficulties and hurdles of trans-border travel and its associated restrictions. We often require work permits, passports, visas, and so on, just to immigrate and perform even a small amount of work in different parts of the world, which is often tedious, frustrating, and time-consuming. As a new global immigrant worker, you can simply throw away all travel papers, airline tickets, passports, suitcases, and the like, and avoid all physical and territorial boundary restrictions, and work from any place from your home or office at any time with great convenience, just by using this simple smartphone. As a global immigrant, you can fly free, higher, faster, and further, and to produce immense contributions and to work at any place at any time of your choosing. You will have unlimited opportunities to reap great benefits and rewards wherever your services are needed. See, we started our evolution from nomadic life of caveman to residential dwellers of agricultural age to physical nomads of the industrial age to digital nomads of the smartphone era. We have thus completed the cycle of becoming nomads once again, but as digital nomads and global immigrant workers, our productivity and GDP will be increasing by leaps and bounds with unlimited opportunities and conveniences. This digital hyper-nomad age of smartphone is just emerging, and its associated opportunities abound to all of us. Our prosperity and advancement depends on understanding and using such actionable digital space and smart space. In this slide, I have shown you the details of agricultural age to industrial age to smartphone age, how our GDP was continuously increasing from one age to the other ages. Thank you for your attention.